this will be great in your portfolio, should be there. And I was talking to Sunny that the environments that you make are really true to nature. Like it's obviously you've seen a classroom and you have seen all the stuff that's in a classroom, so it looks very believable. The only points that would make this a little bit a stronger piece would be if you could create, I put here, you could use more contrast to separate the background from the characters.
Mm-hmm.
Little things like watch, again, where your characters and the background meet, that they don't create that uncomfortable feeling, like her bun is too close to the line, so it creates a tangent. Or her hand is overlapping in an awkward place in her body, in the other girl's body.
Yeah.
It's so simple as that little, the corner of that box touching the side of her. Those little details that are very easy to fix. And looking at this entire piece, the most important contrast and pattern that's here is that pillow.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like, oh, why is that so important?
Right. I mean, that could almost be gone and it would improve it. Yeah.
Yeah. And actually, I just noticed that color is not anywhere else except there in the piece, really.
Yeah.
So it could just be made another color.
Yeah, when there's something is so unique, then it brings attention to itself.
Mm-hmm.
So I changed this to black and white just to show that there's very little contrast in the piece. And I think we could just do a few things and help it. Before we do that, I went ahead and isolated the girl. Just, I mean, if she was overlapping, try to find a place or overlap him or don't overlap anyone. There's so many other options where she could have been that would make it, you can slap him there. You can make her, work better for this. Like even just crisscross the hands would be maybe not at the wrist, but a little bit off. There could be other spaces where she could fit perfectly fine. And she doesn't have to overlap the kids because she is overlapping already the pillows behind the ottomans or pillows. So wherever you decide to put her, a little bit better than just right there, like right on her armpit. It's just a little awkward there.
Mm-hmm.
So that was that. Now, keeping the girl where it is, this is your original, and I just made some changes, and I want to show you. I'll keep flipping back and forth so you can catch them, and then we'll go through each one. So that is your original, and this is with the changes.
It's like I'm at the eye doctor.
Is it A or B? A or B?
Yep.
So we'll get a little closer and I'll make it a little clear. There's your original, and then the changes. So I noticed that your colors in your backgrounds were more vivid than the clothing, and usually kids' clothing is very bright and happy. So I just lower the opacity on the background just a little bit and put brighter color on the kids' clothing. Like these are your clothes, like, and just a little happier.
Yeah.
And wherever there is a dark, wherever there's a light, you need a dark next to it so that I can show. So like in the girl's face, I just darken the background just in that area so that she can pop forward a little bit more. And I did that in all the places. For example, here in between the arm and the face of the kid, there was all this stuff happening back there. And it's not necessary. We still see that this is a bookshelf, but if we get rid of that, then he reads a little bit more clear.
Mm-hmm.
This boy here, I love the little wave thing in the background. That was very, very unique. But there's a lot of tension right there. It almost looks like a shark fin coming from his back.
Oh yeah.
And I realized that that's where the wave would go, but it wouldn't really be that difficult for it to just be not a wave in that section.
Yeah.
And then brightening up if he's darker, then I went lighter in the background. See his face, how it pops up.
Yeah.
So the same thing with the girl, brighter clothes. in the background, his pants. His pants can still read as gray, but I sampled your color and it has some red in it. So I was like, well, we can, it hasn't really changed that he has kind of grayish pants, but he does a little bit of color in it. And the last one, it's lovely that you're including kids with the different abilities. So I'm not saying bring all the attention there, but maybe make it a little bit more noticeable.
Mm-hmm.
So just a tad. So it was about bringing light behind that and darkening, like around the knee that is bent. Since the skin color is so light and so close to the floor, then I just darken the background a little bit so she pops forward, and darken the shadows a little bit. So those little tiny details, and bringing the pillow, coming down the color of that pillow a little bit too. I think it's worth going in there and fixing this one because it's a good piece for the portfolio.
Yeah, it's really adorable.
Or do another one with.
Thanks. It's so cool to see how you do the changes, and instead of just hearing it, being able to see.
That's why I do it too. And like, I didn't. That's what I like. If it was done to me, I wish that would have been done for my portfolios before, because then I don't understand what it is that they're saying.
Yeah, and sometimes you stare at a piece for so long when you're working on it that, to just see those little changes, and you're like, oh yeah,